Yes.
Okay, so I think my name is Lokoma Clement. Yeah, I'm from Declares, Kenya, a youth-led organization that is based in West Pokot. And basically for us, what we do, we champion for the voices of the voiceless. That is women and young girls back there, the community. Yeah, going back to the training that we had today, and I won't say much because I know the mzee has covered so much. Probably for me, if I first begin with the vision, the presidential maybe statement on ending FGM by 2020, I think for me as it stands, it sounds 2022, sorry. Yeah, I think for me it's too ambitious for now, but all is not lost. I know we have some steps to do. So I believe by 2022 we will not have totally eradicated the issue of FGM, but at least something is still to be done. Most probably from the training that we had today, I know for some of us we came into terms that most probably some of the maybe the models that we're trying to use back there the community, they're not responsive to the needs of the community. First to say, I think the issue of legal frameworks, probably I know that's what maybe many of people depends on, probably to end FGM. But according to me, the way I feel, or even from the community's perspective, I think there is a disconnect between the policy, community, and even the law implementers. So basically, what we need to do at the moment, we need first of all to begin policy dialogues. And what I mean by policy dialogues, we need first to fast track first of all the policy. I know the anti-FGM policy prohibition of 2011 is one of the comprehensive policy you'll ever get in this world. It is explainable in terms of what do we call an offense, who are going to charge. If you don't do this, 1, 2, 3. If you're taking your daughter to be circumcised, you're an offender. If you're hiding these cases, I know it's one of the most comprehensive policies, of which I believe if we begin a policy conversation on the same, let's bring that mama from mashinani. Let's bring those elders who are the custodians of the customs that is being related to these practices. Wacha tukuneo discussion to customize your policy, iache kwa a national document into a delocalized community document, because I feel if we delocalize that policy, it's going to be community owned, and when something is community ownership, I know stories accountability, it's going to be effective. We know if something happens, we are holding you chief accountable because you are centered to this document that we delocalized to basically fit our context. Yeah. Thank you so much.
We are so much aware that the head of the state announced that FGM should end before 2022, and we are now like less than 4 months away from 2022. But I want to say, unfortunately, we will not have ended FGM by 2022. This is perhaps because of the factors that has limited us from achieving this commitment fully, especially where I come from. Most girls have not gone to school. Most girls are still being subjected to these retrogressive cultures like female genital mutilation and child marriages. So the lack of this institution has really limited girls from achieving their dreams in life. One of the reasons that makes us not achieve this by 2022 is the approaches that we've been using before. Some of these approaches were biased. Some of these approaches were not workable in a setup that is entirely patriarchal. For example, without involving the men in this fight, we've realized that we are not going to finish FGM. So this time round, we are twisting the approaches in such a way that it will enable the entire community to own this project in ending FGM. That means this time round we are involving the youth, we are involving the elders, we are involving the religious leaders, we are involving women leaders, we are involving the survivors and the excisors, the women who cut these girls. We are bringing them to the broad light and ask them to educate the community on how to end FGM in Kenya by 2022. The other aspect that I think is very major in ensuring that FGM will end in Kenya is by educating and strengthening the system that we have in Pokot. For example, the schools, the hospital, the churches, and all other amenities that will help the girl child achieve the dreams in life. There have been shift in trends in which FGM is being carried out. These days there's increased secrecy. Long time ago when they used to subject us to these cuts, we used to do a very big communal party that involved everyone coming and sing, and we could tell 700 girls have been circumcised this year. But this time around, because of the increased secrecy, girls have started even going to other counties like West Pokot County to go and carry out the cut. We can't really tell. But by virtue of seeing the number of girls in school, for example, the ratio of boys to girls in school is ratio like 1:8, 1 girl and 8 boys. So that tells you most girls are outside and most girls are being subjected to the cut. So I would say for perhaps like in 2020, I know a total of more than 150 girls who are subjected to the cut. Those that we managed to hear and we managed to rescue or managed to tackle them or managed to rescue them from female genital mutilation. Thank you.
the challenges are, one, there are people who want to popularize themselves in our community. They go working, maybe they are employed in Nairobi, they live in Nairobi, and they come like talking to us, telling us which direction to take in life. They come and tell us, don't lose your identity by breaking away your culture. And by doing this, they themselves don't even circumcise their daughters. They just come and talk to people, not to lose their identity, cultural identity, so that people are like, what is Tamar telling us? If so and so has come in an aircraft and landed in a Kambia Samaki, and is coming in a very smart car, and is talking to people in a public baraza, we want to maintain our culture so that we don't get assimilated into Tuganism. We want to maintain our culture so that we don't lose our language. We have to have our identity in this county. We must remain Ilchamus. And to remain Ilchamusoni, you do every cultural activity the Ilchamus do. So to remain Ilchamusoni means telling people to go back to old traditions, including boring earlobes like mine, so that you look Ilchamusoni. And then circumcising girls so that you look at Jamusoni. After he talks like this, people say, yes, that is very true. And then he gets into his car, starts it, engages all the gears, and flies away to Nairobi, leaving you here, where he does not do anything. Even his children do not speak our language, because he married a Kikuyu or he married a Tugen, and there is no mother tongue. So these intellectuals that we call professionals sometimes, during even these political times, it's almost the time they are coming now to approach us, and they will be talking about so many other things. And then it makes it difficult for us, who are activists of anti-FGM, to convince the community in the village, because the diaspora people, the educated people working in Nairobi, are not like me. Me, a local people in the village here. Me, I'm just a local person here in the village. So I don't sound so much, so wisely like they do. Those are the people who become a problem.
Meaning that
indeed, the presidential directive says that we should eradicate female genital mutilation in this country by the year 2022. I must say that there are quite a number of challenges in this regard, because you realize that female genital mutilation is a cultural practice, and just like many other cultural practices, the various cultures, the people in the community hold these cultural practices so dear to them. Sometimes there are also, emotional attachments to these cultures, and therefore there is need for us to adopt a consultative, a collaborative approach, where we have dialogue with these communities, because through this retrogressive vice is actually a cultural thing that dates back to several centuries ago. And maybe by the time this vice, or rather this FGM was introduced, there could have been some positive reasons why it was there, which reasons are not applicable at the moment, because as you are aware, the communities keep on changing. There are so many dynamics in our environment, and as we speak, for us to achieve true socio-economic transformation of our societies, we must be able to shed some of the retrogressive cultures, such as female genital mutilation. So indeed, there are quite a number of challenges, because this practice is cultural in nature, and therefore just like many other cultural activities, it may not end immediately, but I am happy to note that the government has made some very good steps forward. We are working very closely, different actors, Kenya School of Government, Anti-FGM Board, UNFPA, and many other actors in the society who are working towards eradicating this vice. And so far we have community-based organizations and church-based organizations in these communities that practice this vice, and I'm happy to note that there is some very positive progress that we are making in this regard.